Hi, today we will be installing Linux Mint alongside Windows 10 in a dual boot configuration. The method will be similar for many Windows 11 devices as well. The machine I'm using here is a Dell Inspiron 5558 from around 2015 or 2016, but this tutorial should apply to other Windows machines from around this time. Step 1 is to back up all of your important files onto an external hard drive. You can create a disk image backup, but I find it's more efficient to just back up the files you really care about. If done properly, this process of installing Linux Mint won't cause any data loss, but this is just in case. I didn't record this step because for me the backups took a long time. First, open up a browser and go to linuxmint.com/download.php. Here you want to choose the version of Mint we're going to do. I'm going with Linux Mint XFCE since it's fast and good for slower machines. Choose a mirror and download this file. I actually clicked a bunch of times, which is why you're going to see a bunch of redundant downloads that I'm going to then delete. In File Explorer here, we see the .iso file just downloaded, and we're going to be burning what's called an ISO image to a DVD like this. We could also save the ISO image to USB. I'll show one way of saving to a DVD here, but there are other ways. Now clean up the DVD with a cloth or compressed air and put it into the DVD RW drive in your machine. The dialog on the bottom right should pop up. Now go to the ISO file, right-click on it, and open the ISO Viewer program. Your computer might have a different one, or the Windows default called Windows Disk Image Burner. Burn the ISO image to the disk. Make sure you don't just burn the .iso file, but actually the ISO image. A good thing to check would be the 4x rather than the 8x burn speed, since slower disk burning reduces the chance of errors. And make sure to check the option to verify the recorded data, since incorrect burning can mess up the installation. Double check all your settings and start burning. Now this process will take a while, so I'll speed through it. You don't really have to sit through it. And now it'll start verifying the disk. Right now it's preparing. And now it's verifying. And great, the disk is burned successfully. So now you want to change some important settings. So the next step would be to close out of these and go to the power and sleep settings in your computer. And once you're in here, click on Additional Power Settings. It's at the bottom. And this should open up a control panel screen like that. And then click on the left-hand side, choose what the power buttons do, and now uncheck the Turn On Fast Startup checkbox. That's not a feature we want, and it might mess up some stuff. So now that that's unchecked, go to the Windows Update settings page. And in this settings page, go to the recovery pane. Scroll to Advanced Startup and press Restart Now, the big gray button. Okay, and from here, you want to press Troubleshoot. Then Advanced Options, UEFI Firmware Settings, and then Restart. Okay, so now we're in the BIOS, or the more modern UEFI. Here, open the section on Secure Boot. Secure Boot, it's... Yes. And then Secure Boot Enable. And then change the radio button to Disabled. We don't want Secure Boot because it'll mess some stuff up. Confirm the choice, and after that, you can apply the choice. Pressing Apply. And you can now exit. And it'll take you to a login screen, which I've forwarded through. And once again, you want to restart. And this time we'll be changing the boot order. Now scroll to the boot sequence, select Windows Boot Manager, and use the buttons to move it to the last place, which is the third place here. And something I forgot to record, move the option that includes DVD to the very top. And if you don't see DVD in one of the names, try different orders until when you boot it up, you see this. Now hold your excitement, don't start Linux Mint yet. We want to actually double check the DVD is perfect and safe to use. Go to check the integrity of your medium with the arrow keys, and now this step will take some time. And hopefully your DVD is good. And now you should be taken to this screen, and it looks a lot like Mint, right? This is actually a live session, and Mint is running from your DVD, not your hard drive. So now click that DVD icon, it'll open a window like this. Enter your preferred language, mine is English. And then enter your keyboard layout. And you can skip the step about internet, you can do that later. Just press I don't want to connect right now. And now you want to select this option to install multimedia codecs. This stage might take a while. Fast forward it through here. Okay, now this is important. I'm doing a dual boot tutorial, so you want to get the option saying install Mint alongside Windows Boot Manager. Then press continue. And here's the section about partitions. Mint will give you a recommendation and you can play around with this. However, try to keep the Mint partition above around 20 GBs. Don't worry about messing up Windows since Mint is aware of that space and will keep your Windows installation and other documents safe. That is, it'll prevent your Mint partition from being too big. And finally, once you've chosen the partition size you want, you'll see me selecting something around 200 GBs. You can press install now. So I forgot to hit record and missed a couple dialog boxes here. Just hit confirm for those, and now wait a bit more. Keep waiting. And it's installed. Follow the instructions on screen and we'll be done. A fun thing is you can see how much of the DVD is written by looking at the area where it is slightly darker. See the arrow. It's random fact of the day. Now you can see it boot into Mint. Just press enter on the screen. That's just something wrong with my computer. Press enter right here. See the Mint logo, Dell logo again. And here you go. Log in with your details you provided earlier. And here's your Linux Mint desktop. Congratulations if it all went well. And if not, leave a comment below and I'll do my very best to help you out. So you might be wondering why I went through this entire process. One reason was to just teach you all something cool. But another reason was because this computer was just becoming really slow. And the reason for that is that Windows has a lot of background processes. And in a normal, fast, modern computer, these background processes are fine. They help to do important things like security and achieve other things. However, this computer is a few years old. It has an Intel i3 processor, which is a pretty low spec. And it just becomes painfully slow to use and hard to do your day-to-day things on it. And the OS that I've installed on this is Linux Mint, specifically Linux Mint XFCE. And in that case, XFCE is a desktop environment. It basically sets up your interface that you use the OS with, and it's a pretty lightweight example of one. But Linux Mint is a pretty lightweight operating system, and that means that there are fewer background processes and they require fewer resources. Even this computer with its somewhat old processor and somewhat under-spec'd processor, it's able to run Linux Mint very happily. And in fact, I've been using this to video edit this video that I'm currently recording for. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video or learned something, give it a like. And if you want to see my future video on setting up Linux Mint once you have it installed, subscribe. See you soon.